Hi, my name is Alan Suero, and today I'm going to talk about wealth, material and spiritual. So, everybody thinks that material wealth will make you happy, will give you a lot of joy and happiness. And it will give you some joy and happiness, and it will make you live more comfortable most of the time. Some people, the more money they make, the less quality their lives has because they're not coming from scarcity. People that come from scarcity, from like being quite poor and having economical problems every day, will see a growth in material wealth as a blessing. And that's understandable because your living conditions are quite uncomfortable, and your living conditions and limitations of not having enough money will give you a lot of anxiety, stress, sadness, or depression. So once you get or you start receiving all the money you need to take care of your health and to take care of all your basic needs, what's the rest of the money for? Well, we usually think it's to make us happier. And that's a big mistake because once you have everything you need to live comfortably, everything you get after that is really something that you don't really need. It's something you believe is going to make you happier because that's what everybody's telling you. And you might feel a little bit happier when you buy something new or when you acquire something new. But that quickly fades into your normality. When you're buying things constantly, that same behavior also fades into neutrality and normality because it's normal for you to get something every day, and after a while getting something new every day doesn't give you any pleasure anymore. And the reason of that is because you're missing spiritual wealth. You may have material wealth, but you're missing spiritual wealth. And a good example of this are many millionaires and famous actors that go on a trip to Tibet, China, or Buddhist temples and things like that, and they spend a month there. I remember when Chappelle disappeared for a month. He went to Africa to see where his ancestors came from. And that all stems from a dissatisfaction that money does not give you happiness. So when people think that money gives you happiness and then you get the money and then you find out that you got all this money and you keep buying all these things and you keep getting all these things and it does not give you more happiness, then it's a letdown. Because yes, money was important, but it was important just until that level where you can live comfortably and you have enough money to live a regular life and not have to worry and put all those problems and those worries aside. So once you're able to do that, the additional money you have or the additional money you spend is not going to make you any happier. And people stay in that train for years until years later they start looking for help, and then these millionaires start taking these trips around the world to find spirituality and find happiness. This is also the story with this comedian, this famous comedian, that Jim Carrey, that publicly had declared many times that he he went through a change and he had depression, and then he discovered spirituality. He feels all better now. So that's another example. So the thing is that to cultivate spiritual wealth takes some time, but it may not take as long as you think. Your spiritual wealth can start giving you benefits the minute you recognize that you have no spiritual wealth, and even though you may have money, you're still not happy. And you can recognize that is a spiritual need that you need to fulfill in order to be complete. So even if you're in these lower conditions where you have great need for money just to take care of your basic needs, spirituality will help you because it will allow you to see yourself with love, kindness, and compassion, and you will not punish yourself for not having your basic needs, which is what happens when you do not have your basic needs. You turn into sadness, stress, anxiety, and depression because you punish yourself for not having those basic needs. So even in that level, your spirituality can turn your life around from being sad and stressed into feeling neutrality, joy, and happiness. So in that case, that person would have great spiritual wealth, and the person may not have any material wealth. So you can see monks and different people in the church that have really not a whole lot of material wealth, but they have great spiritual wealth, and they're quite happy with their lives. So if you really want to be happy and you already have money, all you have to do is begin your search for spiritual wealth, and you will get there. If you need any help, just drop me an email or go to my website or take my course, Erase Sadness and Stress from Your Life. It's for free. You'll find it on a link down there in the description. And that's gonna be all for today's video. I'll see you on my next video.